I'm thanking God that I ain't not broke. I wrote some laws and I'm thanking God that I ain't not broken. I block drama, only want money flow on my phone. I've been through it all. When I had to crawl, they said I was hopeless. I evicted all of those demons out of my home. I wrote some laws and I'm thanking God that I am not broken. We ran to the bank, ran to the bit. My mama upset, mama, I'm just trying to make us rich. Don't put up a act, you think you're the shit. This shit is so crazy, it don't faze me not a little bit. She wanna be wife, but I want it less. Now that bitch I'm done with. I'm trying to live life without all the stress, but that's what it comes with. I done seen it all, they done seen me fall.
All right. Welcome, everyone, to the first episode of the Recreational Hoopers Guide to Basketball of the off season. You feel me? Before I get started with introductions, how crazy is it that normally we'd be getting ready for the beginning of the year, everybody looking at the prospects, the season already, about to start, preseason done. Everybody's like, who's early season MVP? What are we looking at? Championship hopefuls? None of that. The Lakers just won, and now we're going to have to sit down. How about you settle down? Okay, so back to introductions. I'm your host, Clifford Manny, Right Hand Jesus, Moves.com. The rest of y'all can introduce yourselves. Go ahead, you know the drill.
Yeah, it's your boy Cash Manny. You know what it is.
Mm-hmm. Talk
Proud
about it.
CEO of Prestige. Sponsored by Prestige. This is what it
Worldwide.
is. Link to the store. It's both stores, actually. I opened a new one last week, so both of those will be in the description
Facts. We got some Letterman jackets coming out, people.
Yep.
It's mad fire. Getting cold out there, don't want to be some dusty dude and your boo looking at somebody in the Letterman jacket and then she leave you.
Imagine if your girl is out here looking for another nigga to steal hoodies.
Wow.
Damn,
because get your stuff up, bro.
Facts.
Huh.
Y'all know what it is. It's Sev. You know what? I ain't going by 7 no more. I'm about to go by 17.
Here we go. Bitch ass nigga. Bitch ass. You know what? I'm language.
Young post up.
Beep. We're going to beat that out.
Young post up, young fade. AKA Larry O.B.
Learn some respect. You know what I'm talking. You know what?
If I was Flex, I'd drop mad bombs right now.
Yo, go ahead. Get out your system. You done?
Because
You're weak.
Okay. 17 of them.
Oh.
17 of them.
Okay, welcome to the party. I don't know. Congratulations, bro. Ew, what?
Don't mention 17.
What are you talking about? Don't mention 17. You're late, bro.
Ew.
Ew, what? You got here afterwards.
To watch y'all go back and
The
forth.
chips.
We have to continue, sir. Continue.
All right. You know what? You're right. Thank you for stepping in. Because clearly he's trying to start a fight and someone out of his weight class. He needs to get back over there. Okay, you need. You didn't even win everything in Los Angeles. You have like 11 championships in Los Angeles. Don't talk to me if you want to bring up history. Like, please stop. Anyway,
First of all,
get out of here, bro. Anyway, all I'm gonna say is the first topic we're getting into. Who are you talking to, bro? Who are you talking to, bro? Who are you?
I like
Congratulations, bro.
Bro, I like the energy. Though.
Okay, you know what? Can we talk about the topics? Or are you gonna keep? You know what? All right, keep yo.
You mad?
What do you? Yo, just because you're in charge of the soundboard, you know what? When I say some fire shit, you put the sounds on my shit, okay?
No, it's weak.
You know what? No, what?
If it's weak,
You know we can stop this podcast because this is real life, bro. This doesn't. This is like what we really do, bro. You know, I'm not even getting into that. Look.
When you lose in resort to
What
violence.
are you? Yo, end everything. DJ, cut it. Yeah. Anyway.
Let's put this in the bloopers, y'all.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
God.
Yo, man. We have fun. It's not a game. But let's finally get into it. Even though the offseason has just started, there's been a lot of shakeup. And we're going to start at the top. Coaches. How do we feel about the coaching changes in the NBA? A lot of new faces, a lot of new places. I know we were particularly excited. I know some people might not be, but I was particularly excited about was it Stan Van Gundy getting the job, head coach of the New Orleans Pelicans. So congratulations to Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson for learning how to do defensive slides, because that's what's about to happen.
Now,
Because Stan won't tolerate that
before we
foolishness.
continue about Stan, a little, backstory for people my age who might not know who Stan Van Gundy is or
go get him.
what he did. I mean, you might remember him from his Detroit coaching days, which were not pretty, not the prettiest. Those were dark and cold nights, bro.
That's like Rondo Dallas. We don't talk about it.
But
Shout out Rick Carlisle, though.
But before that, he was the coach of the Orlando Magic, an Orlando Magic team that made it all the way to the finals in 2008-09 season.
Yeah.
With Dwight Howard, people
Hito Turkoglu,
Bucket.
Jameer Nelson, just a lot of players that you might not know about, except for
Rayford
Dwight Howard.
Alston, JJ Redick.
Michael Pietrus was
Rashard
there getting some
Lewis.
business too, right?
Yep.
You remember Rashard Lewis was a
Bro.
bucket, bro.
Super bucket.
A bucket.
Him and Ray Allen on the same team.
And
Seattle Super. You know what? Let's stop because
that's
a different.
that year the East wasn't soft. It wasn't a
was
cakewalk.
not.
It was not.
It wasn't a
not.
cakewalk,
It was
bro.
not.
So they earned their spot in the finals.
Yep.
Stan Van Gundy did that.
Yeah.
So now, knowing that, Pelicans fans, please be excited, because if you're not, you just don't know who you're really getting and his value to your team.
That's a
So,
fact. But more importantly, this is not throwing shade on Alvin Gentry. Look, Alvin Gentry was kind of sort of set up to fail. He's an offensive-minded coach, and he was not given the correct pieces to incorporate the system he wanted to. Like, that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
And it was a
Like,
rebuilding
AD
year.
left.
AD left. Like, you can't, like, they were like, I'm sure Alvin, he anticipated AD leaving, but he was hoping, we got Zion Williamson, nice young coach. Come on, like, let's go. Let's run it. Come on. 1 year. I get 1 year out of this, man. Nah, you couldn't. AD said I'm out. Lakers gave up everything, bro. So it's okay. But now Stan gets to go in and take the reins. So, thoughts, 7. How do you think this is going to go for your boy Brandon?
So, first things first, the Pelicans, as an identity, keep in mind, they still have the same GM. They still have the president of basketball ops, all the same. And their identity has been gun and run. And they have the athletes to do it. They have Zion. They have Lonzo. They have B.I. However, they didn't play enough defense to get out and run. So it was like an impediment. Like, they were stuck in the mud before they even, like, started their journey. So now it's like you bring Stan Van Gundy, who's a defensive coach. He is a defensive coach, and he keeps the teams prepared. You look at the Pistons, even though they were, like, trash.
Got mollywopped.
Even though they were trash,
Yeah.
they were still, like, a team that
Wait,
played
hang
hard.
on. Wait. Even though that was a dumpster fire of a team, didn't Stan get them to the playoffs to respectfully
Yeah,
get swept
yeah.
by the Cavs?
No,
Okay.
exactly. And that was the
Yeah.
point. Like, they played above their talent level.
And they should have won 2 of those games. But, greatness at the end, Kyrie hitting some bombs.
Yeah. And, what are you going to do? He took a team to the finals already. He proved himself. And he brings that defensive awareness, like, that he prepares his team. And I think that's what's missing from a lot of, like, young players in the league, because they're just trying to cement themselves. They're not worried about the team. Stan is a personable guy. He can get people on the same page, and he'll get them well prepared. So I'm looking forward to Zion and B.I. really taking the next steps defensively to become, like, the perennial all-stars they are. And
They're going to be defensive monsters, too.
Yeah, they should. They should be. They don't have one excuse. Like, they don't have an excuse. So you better do it, because you in the West now, and everybody coming back full strength.
Exactly.
You're going to have to fight. It's a dogfight out there. And I'm saying perennial all-star because that is what their talent level is. But it's tough. It's going to be tough for one of them to get an all-star, much less 2 of them. I don't think they get. I don't even think one of them is going to be an all-star next year. But they do have that talent. So bro. But that's how I feel. I feel like it's a great move for the organization. I hope they keep JJ Redick. JJ Redick loves Stan. They need to switch up the piece with Derek Favors. Get that boy out of there, get that boy out of there. But yeah, I love it. I love it. Shout out to Alvin Gentry. I love you as a coach too. Great person, great player. Great coach. But
No,
they
great
need to
person
switch
too.
it
Don't
up.
try to undersell him.
I mean, you look at the way he treats the media.
That's what I'm saying.
All year long. AD questions all year long. When is Zion gonna play? All game, every day. Like, and he handles it with grace. So he's a
And
great
I'm sure it's
person. Shout
not
out to him.
easy as a
It's not.
coach when you put the featured person who could change the dynamic of your team. When upper management is just like, you can only play him for like 18 minutes, or that's your job. Circle Michael Jordan. You remember Last Dance? I can't play you, Mike. I'm sorry. They will fire me. Shout out John Paxson.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to the here and now. I know we talked about it a little bit in the last episode. I think Doc Rivers hire.
True.
Let me start with this. All right.
Yes, sir.
Now, let me be very clear.
Boston Celtics.
I can never fully slander Doc Rivers to the level that the rest of the country will, because he was there for the championship, right?
He was there.
He was there.
He just happened to be there.
Mbutu, you know,
Happened to be there.
I've watched the 2008, championship DVD collection multiple times. I saw what he did. I heard how the players talked about him. But that's not to say players didn't dislike him. Glenn Davis hates him. Genuinely. But that doesn't speak to him as a coach that could get you started. And what I mean by that is, don't look at the end results, and that might seem crazy because you're just like, the championship is the end result. The 76ers aren't there. They're nowhere near. Like, you want to say they're near championship, okay, bro, but you're a second-round exit, now a first-round exit, an injury, whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to say. You're not even sniffing conference finals. So it's like, Doc is good for your situation because it can bring immediate success. Because what he is going to do is he brings the, he brings the resume. And what I mean by that is, exactly, the respect factor. Like, you could say, oh, he's blown 3-1 leads. At the end of the day, I have a chip. You don't. Like, that's really what it comes down to. At the end of the day, no one told you that you need to be here and you need to be there. Like, and I'm sure Doc will learn from his experience, especially this year with the Clippers, when he was sort of letting them, especially in the bubble experience, like, he made no coaching adjustments. Like, he has to understand.
He let him run wild.
He let him run wild. Like, the problem with the 76ers is Embiid and Ben Simmons have been able to do whatever they see fit to do this whole time, and it doesn't work. So you can't come in and be another Brett Brown and enable them to do foolishness, just like you were enabling Paul George and Montrezl Harrell and all these other cats to do foolishness when it mattered most. You can't do that. I don't think he will. But I think he's going to bring the same mentality he brought to the, let's say, the Clippers team before this year, the one that overachieved.
Right.
That's
With
the Doc
Tobias
Rivers.
Harris.
Exactly.
With Tobias.
Maximize, and that's the other thing I was going to bring up. Having Tobias back, because Tobias had his most success under Doc Rivers from an individual standpoint. Like, Doc maximized his talent.
Yeah.
And Tobias, the one thing about Tobias that people got confused, like, everybody was like, oh, they just need a wing to play with Simmons and Embiid. Like, no, you need a wing who can create for himself and others. Tobias has to be put in positions to succeed. Like, he could go get a bucket himself, but he's still a system player. He's still a system type player at his core.
And Doc is going to bring
And
that
Doc is going to bring it out, which will maximize the wing position for them. And that's going to open up everything to me. So it's just like, it was either they had to go trade somebody to try to pair with Embiid, for a consistent big middle, or they were going to get a coach who was going to start putting the players in positions to succeed. So I see Doc as doing that. What do y'all think?
Well, it's certainly a breath of fresh air for the entire organization.
Yeah.
It's not they're not hitting the restart button. It's kind of like it kind of is like a semi reset button, but
it's like a semi rebuild.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's not even. It's a coaching change, but it's like an overhaul of the structure of the team too. Like, it's just like, we're gonna be doing things differently. That's what it is.
Like, me, I don't expect them next year to go all the way to the conference finals at all. Semifinals, yeah. Like, I think they're going to have a good playoff run where they'll have more success. Like, the fans, they'll walk out of there with more positives than negatives type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, that's the best you can hope for, at least for next season, and then you build from there, So, again, Philly fans, don't expect anything that special, like championship or whatever. Just
Definitely don't expect that.
Exactly.
Y'all, all right.
Trash ass niggas. Second round exit again this year, but I'm not going like it's a second round exit for them. I'm just saying this because I have to be supportive of all NBA. But it's like if you want my personal opinion, they're going home in the second round.
So this is what I think.
Here we go.
One, they're gonna get better based off of the fact they don't got Brett Brown coaching these things.
Yeah, bro. Okay, we can
Bro, like anytime I see Joel Embiid at the 3-point line from the wing, it's a bad idea.
every time, every
So
single time.
Now with Joel and Ben Simmons playing effectively the 4 more last year, I'd imagine Doc is going to do more of that, and he's going to make a better offense for them. And on top of that, they were already defensive monsters. Like, that team is a defensive team. So I believe in them a lot more than other people do. Like, the way I view it is this. Name a more talented player in the Eastern Conference than Joel Embiid. You can't. He's 270. 7'2".
KD?
Oh.
Kevin Durant?
Bro, has he played a game
Nah.
yet?
You know what?
Like,
I want to apologize to the public.
Bro.
Okay?
Bro.
Because clearly
understand.
I didn't vet my co-host well enough. And you know what?
Whoa.
Let me-
Relax. No. Because this is the deal. When I'm thinking about it like this. Look at what they've done and who has been more talented in the Eastern Conference.
Okay, bro,
All
but
right,
that
then.
wasn't what you posed to the public. You said who's more talented in the East than
Yes.
Joel Embiid, and I just told you Kevin Durant
Yes,
is.
you're right. And I'm looking
Thank
at it
you.
from the perspective.
You can't even get it out your mouth because you wrong.
Pause.
Huh?
some such shit. Anyway, this nigga Cliff on one today.
What are you talking about, bro?
Anyway, there hasn't been a more talented player in the Eastern Conference since Kawhi left than Joel Embiid. Like as much as Giannis is great, he can't do the things that Joel Embiid does. Like Joel Embiid is like he's just different, you know?
Well, if that's the criteria, then technically, well, no, you're right because he can shoot. Giannis can't, even if he can
Yeah.
only shoot marginally better.
Yeah,
but he can
and I
still
mean,
shoot.
like he's not as good a passer as Giannis, but still, the talent level is there.
Yeah.
You can argue they have the most talent in the conference, and it's not even really like it's a very good. I can make a very good argument they have the best talent in the East, and then you add a coach, well established, has won a championship, and even despite the hiccup with this past year, with 2 mercenaries coming in and taking the team over, you're going to a team that needs the structure, that needs your voice, a role model really to look up to and say, okay, this is how we're going to win. So I'm not putting it like, I don't like who's in the East. Like, all right, KD, you talking about the Nets, you talking about the Bucks, you talking about the Celtics, you talking about the Heat. The Raptors are on the decline. The 76ers are just as good as the rest of them. That's how I feel. They're
No, they're
just as
not.
good. I feel like they're just
No,
as
they're
good
not.
as the rest of them. I'm saying
No,
that's
they're
how
not.
I'm saying that's how I feel.
Oh, okay.
And
Are they top? Are they top 4? I know they're top 4, but where do they rank in the top 4 to you?
you talking about regular season? I really
No,
don't.
just top 4 teams in the East right now for next year. Are they top 4? But where in the top 4 are they? I know they're top 4, but
So-
I also know where in the top 4 they are.
So I know the Bucks probably going to do some regular season stuff. I think the Nets are the best team in the Eastern Conference, and then after that, it's like in the
Come on, bro.
postseason.
Come on, bro. Just say. I know it's hard, but just say it.
Like, what do you mean?
It's Nets in terms of on paper. It's Nets.
It's there's a clear like higher echelon there.
Yeah,
The
Nets,
and
us.
everybody else.
And then the Bucks, and then them.
But
That's what I
you're
mean.
Looking at it you're looking at it in terms of standings. I'm talking about like
I'm not looking at it in terms of standings. I'm
I'm
saying
looking at
like
it
the
like
most
contending.
talented threat of a team next year. It's gonna be the Nets in the East, and then it's gonna be
Yeah.
us, and it's gonna be the Bucks, and then it's gonna be
I think
the 76ers.
I think the 76ers are better than the Bucks in the postseason. That's how I feel.
I have to see what the Bucks try to do
I
in
feel
the
like they'll
offseason.
clamp them. Look, if the Heat can clamp up the Bucks, a better defensive team in the
That's fair.
76ers can beat them.
That's fair.
And then if you're going, because I low-key have the Bucks 4th in that list,
That's fair.
but I really don't like rank them because there's just a clear cut and then there's the other guys. So I have you guys and I have the 76ers, but I'm not gonna sit here and say like you guys are the favorite if y'all were to play. Like that's not
To play the Nets, yeah, of
to
course.
play the 76ers. is what
Oh
I'm
no, we're winning that.
But I think he's going to be a great addition to that team. And, yeah, they're going to be – I don't know. Y'all are sleeping on it. I think you guys are sleeping.
No. I think they're going to be very improved. So from the Nets, outside the Nets in the Bucks, I just think, look, like I said, to me it's a front office thing for the Bucks. Like, you got to go, like, try to fix the Eric Bledsoe situation. Like, either try to get another wing, or just get a better point guard. Like, that's really what your problem is. Like, think about it.
Yeah.
Middleton is a really good wing. He's just not super elite. So you can't ask him to be the best player on the court, because that's not gonna work. Because he can't be the best player on the court in a winning effort, like consistently over the course of a series. He's not that guy. He's a number 2. So either you go out and you get a super, super good number 3 who's basically like another number 2 who could transcend into the number 1, or you go get a really good point guard.
Yeah.
Like that's what the Bucks needs to do. If they don't do that, then I conform to your level of thinking. But I think they will. I do. I think they'll do whatever they have to do to try to entice Giannis to stay. And if they don't, they're idiots.
You want to get on to the next
Yeah. Let's go. Let's go
to
to
the Nets, because we talked about them already.
Yeah.
Steve Nash.
Yeah.
It's really going to be about their assistant coaches, but I kind of like the brain trust there. He's never been a coach, so he doesn't have the X's and O's as much as he is a point guard. You know, like he doesn't have like the tactics and the schemes yet. But I think Steve Nash is gonna, like, bro, talking about Kyrie and you're talking about KD.
I think it's gonna be a Steve Kerr situation for Steve Nash.
Really?
I do,
So
and
you're
not
saying,
not
like,
in
a
sense.
defensive coach is gonna really be running the team. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, I think, and that's why I'm following it, because I'm trying to see who they're gonna get as, the defensive coach on the team. But it's just like, bro, you walked into the culture for the Nets is not a bad culture. It's actually a very decent culture. They got to the postseason with D'Angelo Russell and Karis LeVert leading the charge, and Karis LeVert was injured for half of that season. They got a game off a 76ers team that was vastly superior to them, and that series was way closer than the final, 4-1 score indicated. Like, 3 of those games came down to final possession type situations. So the culture's there. Now you have the superstar talent, and I'm talking about superstar. You have Kevin Durant, bro, who we all expect to be one of the 2 best players in the league next year. Pretty sure. Like, because I've been saying since he got injured, it's just like 85% of Kevin Durant is better than like 96% of the league still. So that's what it is to me. But you have that. You have Kyrie. You're in the East, which is it's an improved conference, but it's still technically the weaker conference. Like, you could look at it on paper and be like, you're the most talented team. You can. You could look at it and still be like, even with all the improved up and coming, talent, everything like that, it's KD and Kyrie. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, that's like, it's KD and Kyrie.
Bro, they're gonna
and then you have
fourth.
Karis LeVert, who's a hooper, bro. Like, people don't talk about Karis LeVert enough. That man is a bucket. Like, from experience and then from watching the games in the bubble, like, he was over here giving people buckets, bro. It was work. And I was like, that's a scary third option to have, because he has guts, bro. He wants those moments. He wants to be the guy. Like, and if that's your third guy, that's crazy. But he also understands the hierarchy of the team. He understands. The one thing I'm wondering to see what Steve does with, like, because he's a Mike D'Antoni baby. You know what I mean? In terms of the best careers he had, the best years of his career were under the fast-paced offense. So if he's trying to get the Nets to go like that,
I think it's not going to be like that. I think it's going to be more under, like, the Steve Kerr model, because that's where he was, like, assisting
that's true.
as a coach.
But I'm saying, like, the Nets are tight built to have that type of offense, and then they're also tight built to be really good defensively. So it's like, he could just say, on offense, this is what we're going to do, and then the defense is going to help us do that even more, like 10 times more. And then fast break situation, breakdown, oh, well, that's terrible, but we have 3 of probably, like, the best ISO players on the floor right now.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like, it doesn't really matter. So it's crazy. I think he's going to walk into a Steve Kerr situation. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be free-flowing. And I think he's going to see a lot of success. Any thoughts? Any thoughts?
I'm just most intrigued to see how the running KD at every single position goes.
It's going to be so different,
bro, that's going to
bro.
be crazy, bro.
It's going to be so different. Wait, hang on. Like, I know we did. I think that was before we get into that, because that gets into a different topic.
Yeah.
But any other moves that we need to talk about? I know Mike D'Antoni stepped down. He doesn't have a job yet. Where do you think he'd land? Let's get into that.
I don't think he coaches this year.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
Like, because he has to be put in the right situation. Like, Mike D'Antoni, he needs
He's not going to the Thunder. They have a vacancy.
Yeah, but he's not going. Like they don't
really
have the
want him
personnel. Yeah, obviously.
All right, well, let me read off the other changes then. So not that anyone cares. The Chicago Bulls.
Finally got rid of that. I know Zach LaVine is ecstatic.
And then guess who they got? Billy Donovan. He's a good coach for young players. You know, that's what he's been. Like ever since, look at his days in Florida. Won a chip. Comes to the league. An emerging KD. And when I say emerging, obviously he was always great, but championship level KD.
Yeah.
So
again, it's one of those breath of fresh air moments for Chicago fans. So be excited.
Similar to that, the Cleveland Cavaliers picked up JB Bickerstaff, and JB Bickerstaff was a huge part of like Memphis, their restart.
True.
So Jim Boeheim is out of there. He was terrible. Also, the Nate McMillan, he got fired, right? And they picked up the Raptors assistant coach, Nate Jorgen.
Look, I don't know how to pronounce that, bro.
I don't know, bro.
But whatever his name is, they got rid of one Nate for another Nate. So hopefully, we'll see what happens. I hope Nate McMillan finds a job this year, though.
Come to OKC, bro.
Hey.
You are welcome.
Also, the Knicks, obviously David Fizz is out, and they brought in Tom Thibodeau.
Well,
I don't want to play the Knicks. I really don't. Because
exactly, bro.
And it's gonna
You
be
know what
straight
type of
Tom
stuff we're gonna
Thibodeau.
run, bro? First
they're
of
gonna
all,
be playing-
bro, if you have no talent or discernible skill, sorry, RJ, they don't use you correctly, and they have Alonzo Trier locked up like he's not a bucket.
Bro, they're going to be playing.
So no. If you got a bunch of thugs, what do you do? What do you think Thibs is gonna do?
He's going to play.
We're gonna
the team.
play
Like I said,
6 fouls. If you have
Bro,
6,
they're going to play.
you're gonna
like
use
Giants,
6.
Bro. They're going to play
Like they're gonna play football, bro. It's lit. You walk into Madison Square Garden, it's a fight.
Bro, the last time we played the Knicks, these niggas took out AD's legs and he almost cracked his sacrum, bro. He almost cracked his sacrum on that, bro. I don't want to play the Knicks. If we play the Knicks, fuck it. We gonna lose 2 games. Add it on to I don't care. We here for
You
a
said they got
championship,
Tom, Julius Randle, and Portis?
They
It's
got
over,
Julius
bro.
Randle, Taj Gibson. They got like 15 other.
I only care about Portis. Let me be very clear. There are 2 people in the NBA you should not mess with. James Johnson, because he has like all his certifications in every form of martial arts or whatever. And then there's Bobby Portis. If you see the look in his eyes, you know he does not care about his salary. He does not care about his fans. He does not care about his family. Bro, he does not care, bro.
Bro,
I've never seen a person completely clap somebody in the head and then try to help him up, bro. Like, yo, my bad,
assault, bro. What he did was assault in some countries. And then he just looked down and then bent his, like, you good, bro? Like, eyes wide like this, looking at him in his soul, like, you gonna swing on me. And you know what he did? Nobody swings on him, bro. Nobody go to Bobby Portis.
Portis does not give a bro.
Bobby Portis used to eat cardboard, bro.
Bro, you remember Kevin Harlan with no regard for human life?
Life.
Bro, it's on his forehead like
he got that tatted on his back, bro. We didn't say he never seen it yet. Bro, he doesn't care.
LeBron got the chosen one.
No regard
for
human life. Yo, he gonna blow up the powder right before he do that too. No regard for human life.
Thibodeau about to be back there smiling.
Bro,
like,
Thibodeau. You know what's crazy? Like,
yeah,
Thibodeau and Bobby Portis gonna be best friends. He gonna be like, this man embodies what it means to be a coach in this league, to be a player, to be a hard worker. Everybody should try to be like Bobby.
Yeah, I don't want to play the Knicks, bro.
I don't want to play the Knicks either, but I know I have to see him 4 times, and I hope we preserve our stars.
Hey, bro.
Speaking of stars,
the
Lakers, the Los Angeles Clippers have a change in head coach. Tyronn Lue. Oh my God, what a shock.
This was not a shock.
It wasn't.
It was much like, look, this didn't happen, but what would have happened, let's say the Lakers did what the Clippers did. You know what would happen? Jason Kidd would have been the head coach this year. Right. That's exactly what they did to Doc Rivers. Right. It's just nobody else talked about it because Doc Rivers was established, so nobody thought it could happen. But no, you going to embarrass the franchise like this? You got to get out of town. We just made a Kawhi commercial. He turning the car on with the crown on the keychain. And we going to lose in the second round? You out of here. Like, yo,
Bro,
pack up your stuff.
We're gonna lose.
You're
in the second
out of
round.
here.
That's what the Clippers do. They lose in the second round.
Yeah, bro. And Steve Ballmer, when he bought the team, I'm sure he thought, you know what, maybe this is the reality now, but I'm gonna change the future and the destiny of this franchise. And after pouring in millions of dollars to this circus, okay, hundreds of millions.
What do y'all think he did to that team after that, bro?
Bro, I am probably personally sure that he looked at every single person. He thought you thought you were getting the playoff bonus. You thought every extra game you played. You thought Patrick Beverly. You thought you was getting the play. No, you know what? You're paying me for the embarrassment because I made a bet with Steve, like with Palinka, Genie, all of them.
Bro.
I was talking hot shit at the poker game, and I couldn't back it up.
Don't be surprised if reports start to come out that Paul George is recovering from injury and will miss half the season, bro. That was all Steve Ballmer.
That was all Steve Ballmer. But look. Enough joking around on their expense, bro. Let's talk about another topic real quick. And it's not even real quick. There are two teams that I think are going to be really good next year that had to deal with injuries. And those two teams are the Brooklyn Nets and the Golden State Warriors. And my question to you, gentlemen, is who do you think is going to be the bigger surprise next year?
Well, if the Warriors come back how we think they're going to come back, it's not really going to be a surprise. It's just like, okay.
Stop it. Because nobody thinks the Warriors are going to come back the Warriors of old. And I feel like people forgot. Like, I feel like there's an understanding about...
Are you talking about pre-KD or
pre-KD, bro. Like, I feel like people don't understand that pre-KD Warriors, like, they lost to LeBron. But that's the only team that they lost to. And people act like the pre-KD Warriors was some mid. Like, I just don't understand. That's the part that's confusing me. Like why do people think they submit?
Because we got brainwashed by Kevin Durant shitting on the rest of the league. Like, I under like it's like when you get dumped and you're like, oh my god.
Yo, that's how you sound when you do it,
bro.
Hey, whoa! This is a basketball podcast.
This is literally it's like the breakup, and you're like, oh my god, like Drake, best I ever had, and you forget, like, nigga, you still in middle school.
Oh,
you still writing hearts on lockers.
Wow.
There is more life than just KD, guys.
Yeah,
there is Steph Curry. There's Klay Thompson. There's
other
guys.
Yeah, they're pieces.
All you need is that one guy.
Look,
all you need is that one guy.
So.
Go
Steph
ahead.
is that guy.
Go ahead.
No, I see, like, what you're saying. And also, clearly they're not the same team. It's, the usual Steph, Clay, Draymond, and then after that, I don't even really know who's on their squad.
Look, it doesn't matter because you know what? I'm going to tell you this right now, okay? Here's what happened. Your two best players get injured, right? They're out for the whole year. Steph, basically, like, whatever you want to say, whatever he played, didn't matter. He's out for the year. And I don't say this to be disrespectful. Like, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, okay? But there's two all-stars on that team.
Yep.
So we all know what it is. Okay, like everybody here understands that. What this year was, this past year for the Warriors was, and Steve Kerr, I feel like, understood this more than anybody. It was empowering the rooks and the youth. Like, that's what it was about because that's who he had to work with. Like, Draymond did everything he could to get out of games early this year because he didn't want to play. He didn't want to play.
Yo,
Mr. Winning Player didn't want to play.
Bitch ass shit, bro.
That's some bitch ass shit.
Supposed to be, I'm not even trying to curse, but that was some bitch made shit.
That was soft.
But also, we're looking at it from the perspective of it's Steph, Clay, and the other guys. They're gonna look very different at the beginning of next season. They have a first round. They have a number 1 pick.
This is the second one. This is number 2 pick.
Number 2 pick. That's gone. Andrew Wiggins, hopefully gone for them, for their sake. And they're gonna bring in somebody who can actually do something.
Yeah, but what would you do? Like, because at the end of the day,
easy. Jeremy Grant, easy.
That's the wing you want,
bro. I want Jeremy Grant with Draymond Green and the rest.
James Wiseman. Yeah, I was thinking that too. You go ahead and you draft James Wiseman.
You're
crazy. And what are you talking about, bro? If you have the number 2
for development,
no, bro. James Wiseman is the okay. In terms of drafts, bro, you look at it and you could say who could be a generational talent, and you could say, oh, you don't want to develop anything.
Curry is a generational
exactly,
talent.
bro. And the Warriors draft amazingly well. Do you think they're gonna fuck up the highest pick they've ever had since Steph? No, they're gonna find
go
a way
out
to
and
get
win.
James Wiseman, bro.
No,
they're gonna keep that. They're gonna keep that
See,
because
this
they're
is-
also amazing at player development.
what happens
Even if you
when-
don't want to say it's about player development, the Warriors are one of the best teams at player development. So they're gonna draft
breathe,
James
breathe,
Wiseman, and then
breathe.
they're gonna be all right.
You're getting
Y'all-
red.
y'all-
Breathe.
see, look, this is coming from people who don't know how to win championships.
What are you? They won championship.
No, they know how to do it. I'm saying you're going about it the wrong way. If
But
you
that's how they've gone about it. Besides
Bro,
the KD move.
So you're telling me they're gonna get James Wiseman and another person around his age and another person like Draymond in the second round.
Why would they
their
have to
age?
get another person around his
Because they
age
have
if they
to
could
match
trade
up in
Andrew
age.
Wiggins, bro, and
They
get
have to-
something?
I'm saying they're gonna try and go after it all and trade both of them. Like, what are you saying? All right, so this is the deal. When you have a great talent and they are 30-something years old, you're not out here looking for the next best thing to come along. You're out here maximizing
I know
it right
that,
now.
bro.
That second pick is
I don't
gone.
say that. I don't
That
say
second pick
James.
is
I don't
gone.
say James Wiseman. I don't say that's a good idea for them just because it's just like, oh, that's a pick. It's like they have to get it. No, nigga, it fits a need, bro. It fits a need.
They aren't going to be using James Wiseman.
He's literally
They
and
could use
okay.
They could use Nerlens Noel and be just fine. They could be using Nerlens Noel and be just fine and go out and get
Yo,
better wings so that they can actually compete defensively.
I'm not about to sit here, bro. You go get James Wiseman, who can do everything at 7 feet,
you think
and
you
he
are-
loves playing defense. What are you missing if you're the Warriors? The person who's showing the age and attrition
wing.
the most,
Is Draymond.
besides a wing, which you
need
have.
a
You're not
wing.
asking Andrew Wiggins to be the best or second best player on that team.
Are you
You're
asking
asking
him to
him
play
to
defense?
fit a role, bro.
Okay, for $25 million a year, you're asking him to fit a role. Thank you. Okay. Here's the
They
deal.
were about to give Harrison Barnes all that to fit a role, bro.
Yo,
Like, what are we
literally,
talking about?
Y'all are bugging right now. Because if you think Stephen Curry gives a fuck about James Wiseman coming out of college,
I would say you obviously haven't been paying attention to Stephen Curry's personality for his whole career, bro.
I would also be saying
Hey, what are you talking about?
I would also be saying Stephen Curry isn't the winner we think he is because he's not trying to be
Okay, bro.
molding some
What is he?
guy.
Hang on, wait. He had 1, 2. He had three-time champ, bro.
And guess who
Like-
they surrounded him with? Veterans. You
Okay,
think you're gonna
bro.
win with the rookie? Come on, like,
Bro, he is the veteran now.
and that's the
And
point.
Clay is the veteran. And
they-
Draymond is
And
the
that's
veteran,
point.
bro.
And LeBron James is the veteran, and AD is the veteran. Who do they surround him with? Not fucking James Wiseman.
All right, bro.
Veterans.
Well, the Lakers didn't have a, and when the Lakers did have a pick like that, it was no one to James Wiseman's like
Bro.
generational talent level. You got Brandon Ingram, you got Lonzo Ball. Okay, that's who you got.
Anyway, what I'm saying is they're not gonna look the same
Yo,
because they're trading that pick.
I think they could trade Andrew Wiggins. I think. Look, I'm not saying they shouldn't trade the pick. If you could get
They
something,
should trade the
but
pick.
it depends on what you're gonna go get. That's what I'm saying.
They're gonna
Like
go get
if
it.
you're
Just
gonna
them
look,
playing.
all I'm saying is if you're gonna trade a package of the number 2 pick, which will most likely translate into James Wiseman, unless you need a point guard, and then you're gonna go, LaMelo or Anthony Edwards, right? Then that means you have to be getting something good, especially if you could pair it with Andrew Wiggins, who, as much as we call him out and everything, in terms of talent, okay, he's in the upper echelon of small forwards in terms of talent. And I think being in a winning situation would have changed his energy towards everything,
Sure.
as being in a winning situation does for most people, okay?
All
I
I'm
thought
saying
that.
is, all I was saying is, they're not gonna look the same, and they're gonna be freaking good. And a lot of people doubt, but everyone already has KD coming out of the East. Like when they think about KD and Kyrie, they're like, "Oh, that's a championship team." So the Golden State Warriors will be the surprise because most people don't give Steph enough credit, and they're looking at the rest of their roster like they have nobody. They have absolutely nobody besides those 4 players we mention all the time: Steph, Clay, Draymond, and Andrew Wiggins. They have no Kevon Looney. Come on, they're getting a team. They're getting a real team. So I think they're gonna make improvements. They're gonna be a different team, and even though the Nets were like, they were a playoff team last year, which is not special because it's the East. But now they have KD and Kyrie, so we're expecting them to go out there and win.
All right, let me ask. What do you think? about the not the Warriors. What do you think about the KD Kyrie? What are we gonna get from them? And think about the whole team too, like the whole Nets organization. It's not just about KD and Kyrie. They got a squad.
I think that I don't know, because a lot of people, their expectations are they're like gonna be number one, number two. Like they're putting high expectations on the Nets, and rightfully so. You got KD and Kyrie on the same team. You expect great things from them, and then there's Karis LeVert, and then the rest of the team. Me, I expect. I don't put extremely high expectations on them because it's a new coach. They basically kind of revamped the team a little bit with some of the same core that they've had when they made the playoffs a couple years ago. It's really look. What I'm saying is I expect the Nets to be number 2. That's what I expect from them.
In the league or in the East?
In the East.
Why? Because of the Bucks' regular season success?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because the Bucks are just universally probably the best regular season team in the NBA, and they have been for the past couple of years. So
that's fair.
I'm excited. I'm definitely excited to see where it goes. But like we talked about earlier, how Steve Nash, you don't expect him to pick up all the schemes and stuff immediately. It really depends on who they pick up as the defensive coach or whoever else. So also there has to be that trust factor between Kyrie, KD, and Steve Nash and the rest of the team and Steve Nash. So that trust factor, it's gonna take this season to build up with that. So
I will say one thing about the Nets is going to be interesting. And everybody could say, oh, it's great when you have 2 guys who could go and take the last shot in either or. But it's going to be, I expect them to be good enough where it's like, you shouldn't be in close games unless it's with certain teams.
I would love to see it.
Yeah, but it's like in those close games, like, what do you, like, is it going to be my turn, your turn? Is it going to be some action? Yeah, what are we doing? Because we know the ball is going to one of 2 people. We know that. And then in an emergency, it goes to the open shooter, which will be Joe Harris or Karis LeVert. And that's a scary prospect.
It's deadly.
That's deadly. But it's like, even though you could say that, you got to sit down and you got to be aware of the fact that it's important to know who your alpha is. And I'm sure it's clear KD is the alpha. But in that moment, because it was clear that LeBron is the alpha on the team. But in closing moments, he acknowledged Kyrie. And that helped Kyrie fulfill a role and put his name on the map. Like, it gets a little fuzzy if Kyrie himself is trying to fight for the role that he wants to be in. Like, I'm sure he'll, because like I said, this is the most talented player he's going to play with since LeBron. Like, so even in his head, he has to acknowledge this dude is, like, even though you walk around with a certain level of confidence as an NBA player, like, Kyrie, when he played with LeBron, this dude's better than me. That's not a secret. Now he's finally playing again with someone where he looks across the table and he's like, this dude's better than me. Like, I don't care what he says. Like, that's Kevin Durant, bro. Kevin Durant, you're sitting across from him. Everything you do, besides, all the fancy and one handles, like the finishes, the shooting, like the pull up, everything, he could do all that offensively too. And he could do it better because he's bigger than you. Like, that's crazy. So he's got to acknowledge that. So I want to see how Kyrie's role, because Kyrie, as much as we want to take from him, as much as people will slander him or say stuff about, the one thing he's always had is closer.
True.
But now we have a dude who's like actually better at that than him. And to me, that's what Kyrie's career has been based off of, like his ability to close. So it's like, now that we're watching this, is just like, that's the only dynamic where I'd be worried about the Nets, because other than that, it's, it's, man, like, you shouldn't lose to you shouldn't lose to teams that are not in your weight class if you're the Nets. Like, I understand that first time together, everything like that, growing pains, all that. But factoring everything in, talent-wise, like, there are very few teams that you should actually lose to with your roster and your talent. So it's going to be interesting.
Something that Chris said with the expectation level. Here's the thing. their talent is so upper echelon. And this past off season, when LeBron got Anthony Davis, there was a new coach, new player, some of the same guys from last year, mostly a new roster, and they had expectation. So we lived up to it, all right? But there was expectation there. And if we lost, we were going to get killed. Paul George and Kawhi Leonard going to a team with a few more pieces than we did. We had, carryover. not a different coach, the same coach. They had a ton of expectation, and they did not live up to it, and we killed them, deservedly so.
Bums.
So,
hang on, wait. Let me asterisk this.
yeah. Go ahead.
Outside of Kawhi, preview for next week, we'll be getting into top 20s. Okay. Paul George has fallen.
Dramatically so.
Oh, God. We're going to get into that next week.
Yeah.
Next week.
Anyway.
Okay.
We killed the Clippers.
He's a bum.
We killed the Clippers. Deservedly so. Deservedly so.
Somebody pick Paul George's ranking off the floor.
So,
I don't want to. Disgusting.
is 2K rating?
That too. If I see anything above an 86, I'm gonna be sick, bro. I'm gonna be like,
honestly.
because what was he before 90 something or 90?
Hey, bro.
All I remember is
that gotta
top
drop.
four.
Hey, bro, in 2K19,
That gotta drop.
He
I don't
like
care.
94 in 2K19,
Anyway,
bro.
anyway.
Yeah, get back to it. Go ahead.
KD has escaped. Much like Kawhi, he has escaped being a leader on his team.
He's never had to be. Except the year when Russ was out. And then he still had like mad vocal dudes on his team.
And you're right. And there was Kendrick Perkins and Russell Westbrook, and they're the leaders.
Yeah.
But at the same time, in these championship runs, he hasn't been that leader.
Yeah.
Much like Kawhi, he now has to be a leader. And Kyrie, oh my God, he's been outspoken and
Not a leader. I'm not about to get into this again before I have to take another 20 minutes to slander him.
But when you look at it, Kyrie's up there with Paul George in terms of talent. I'm not going to say he's up near LeBron and AD, but
He's not.
up there
He's
he's up
definitely
there
not.
with Paul George.
He's second tier talent level.
So I have expectations for them. I don't care about a new coach. I don't care about new pieces. Other teams have done it. Some have won. Some have lost. You go out there and do it. I'm expecting KD to be the second best player in the league next year, and that's only because he's coming off an Achilles tear. If he wasn't, he'd be the best player in the NBA, and this is coming from someone who watches LeBron every day.
Yep.
But if you're going to sit here and tell me, like, there's not enough, like, we're not going to hold it against them, bullshit. You're in the East. You're with Kyrie. You have a squad. You had never had to lead until now. Go do it. I don't care about the coach. Go do it yourself. Because I see teams have won with leaders. You look at Jimmy Butler, leading.
Mm-hmm.
You look at LeBron James, leading. Jokic, leading. You got to do it yourself, bro. You got to carry your team. And, yeah, you're right. They shouldn't be in close games. But they're going to be in close games. They're going to be grown games. And I can't wait for them to win a lot of the games that they should lose. Why? Because I love seeing greatness when the clock is ticking.
We all do. Hero ball.
Yeah.
I don't care what analytics say. We love it. That's what we live for. Hero
And you
ball
know
is why
what?
we tune in.
And there's no two other players in the NBA you would rather have shooting the ball than those guys. Like, I mean, everyone has their preference, but you're not going to say, like, these guys can't do it. We've seen them do it. So there's expectation. And I don't give a damn about Steve Nash. I don't care about the owner of the Nets. I don't care about the GM.
I don't even know
You
his
have
name.
The whole squad. You got Karis LeVert. You got shooter.
Mm-hmm.
You got shooter.
Joe Harris.
You have dudes off the bench who have been in the playoffs. Like they were just in the playoffs. I mean, it was against the Bucks, but like it was first round and whatever. Like I'm not against the Bucks this year. Actually, who they played this year?
Who, the Nets?
Yeah, the Nets played the Raptors.
Yeah,
right?
they played the Raptors.
Yeah, like, and that's the thing. That's a veteran team, so you're actually getting playoff experience, even though it's just the first
It was
round.
all blowouts.
You're getting playoff experience.
Every
in those
single game
blowouts.
was a blowout.
So I want to see them, bro. I have expectations for them, and I don't. If they miss, bro, I'm gonna kill them just like I killed Paul George, Paul, whatever.
Pandemic P.
Pandemic P, George Paul, and Kawhi Leonard.
Yep.
Emphasis
Kawhi.
on the Leonard.
Also,
I'll just start calling him Leonard.
oh God,
Leonard and Leonard and George.
Leonard and George. George and Leonard.
The George and Leonard show.
The George and Leonard show.
Oh my god.
But anyway, listen to me, all right? This was a very, 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 very good episode of the Recreational Hoopers Guide to Basketball. Be sure to tune in next week so you could hear us slander Paul George. I mean, talk about the top 20 players in the league. To us each individually, I'm sure both of these guys have no idea what they're talking about. But you have me, so it's okay, because I will not lead you astray. All right? Cue the outro music. I need better assistance, because...
All of my content is sick, rapping be curing my illness. All of you little rapper niggas is fool me, I be changing the rules. Lil' mama, she tryna build, I just be breaking the tools. I be defying the odds, they saw me skating the pool. They saw me taking the shots, they saw me changing the cues, they saw me raking the blues. I block drama, only want money flow on my phone. I been through it all, when I had to crawl, they said I was hopeless. I evicted all of those demons out of my home. I wrote some laws and I'm thanking God that I am not broken. We ran to the bank.